Hello, my name is Peyton Nelson. Imagine you're in another country and you get invited to go fishing with some of the locals. On the fishing trip, you realize that there are some times where you can see the fish before them. The only problem is you don't know how to tell them where the fish are at. This could be pretty frustrating. How do you think you would feel in this situation? As humans, we are social creatures by nature. We're always looking for ways to be better understood and better understand others. One way we can do this is by learning a second language. I recently returned back to the United States after spending a couple years in the Marshall Islands. There I was able to learn Marshallese and get to know firsthand what it's like to learn a second language. Now I can attest that there are some key steps that we can take to more effectively learn a second language. Among these are building a better vocabulary, immersing ourselves in the culture and language, and setting good goals. The first step we'll talk about today is building a better vocabulary. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill has stated that when learning a language, input, output, and feedback are crucial. Input is what we hear others speak to us. Output is what we say to others, and feedback is the correction we get from what we say. When we build a better vocabulary, this benefits us in all three of these aspects. When we know more words, we're able to understand more of what we hear. In turn, we're able to say more, and in turn, we're able to get more feedback or correction on what we say. Additionally, when building a better vocabulary, it's important to figure out what kind of learner we are. North Carolina State University has talked about this extensively, saying that some people are visual learners. For example, myself, flashcards worked really well for building a better vocabulary, because when I could see the word, I'd remember it better. But, as a professor at the University of California has said, for auditory learners, listening to songs can build better fluency in terms of speaking and flow, but also improve listening abilities, and you can build your vocabulary that way. The second point we'll talk about today is immersion in the culture and language. The English Studies Institute has said immersion helps your brain function like that of a native speaker. It makes sense that when we're surrounded by people who speak a language, it will be quicker and more effective to learn that language. English Studies Institute continues, when you talk to native speakers and engage in activities with them through immersion, you become more familiar with their culture and way of seeing things. And this makes sense. If you think back to our fishing example, you'll be able to talk about things that are important to that culture in a way that you wouldn't if you were just learning the language at home. You get to think about the language and how to convey yourself in many different aspects as opposed to just the set kinds of things that they teach you in a textbook. So for these reasons, immersing yourself in the culture and language is very key. Our last point is the importance of setting goals. Brandman University has talked about this extensively. They state that when we set goals, like many of us know, they need to be SMART. And that means specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, or there's a deadline for it. Goals are very beneficial. They help us measure our success, and this can help keep us motivated. When you set goals, you have something to strive for. You have something to try and obtain. Goals also highlight areas of improvement. They show you where you're lacking. After you've made attainments, it's important to know how you can continue to improve. And goals help keep you accountable. If you're not learning with anybody else, setting goals can help you track progress and keep you on the right track. So, as we've discussed today, when learning a second language, it's important to build a better vocabulary, immerse yourself in the culture, and set goals. These are just three of the many ways that we can more effectively and better learn a second language.